Dude, I have Facebook and I still have no idea like when anyone's birthday is. I have the capacity in my memory for maybe half a dozen birthdays, and I just had a kid, so one of those got knocked off the list. I don't know whose, but I've lost somebody's birthday. I don't know.
To the random
We'll find
person
out
whose
when that
birthday
time
I
comes.
forgot.
Yeah, whoever's birthday I forgot because of the birth of my kid, I apologize. Just don't have enough space in my brain for that and everything else. Look, I don't have enough space in my brain for dumb comic book facts, everybody's birthday, and random pieces of old Star Wars lore that's no longer canon, alright?
You all can only ask so
Well, we
much
can
from
get
me.
rid of one of those.
Look, I could remember another couple of people's birthday, but then I wouldn't just randomly remember that Armadillo fought the New Warriors at one point, so, I need...
I
I
already
need
had
that
one
stuff.
armadillo failing on this podcast.
Pretty sure that was the same episode that you forgot that Armadillo was in Jessica Jones.
It was. Because we've only talked about armadillo three times now. You know,
I mean,
times
God,
too
that's
many,
too
really.
many
That's
times.
still, yeah.
Far too many times for anybody to be talking about Armadillo in 2022.
Friend of the show, Armadillo.
Friend of the show, Armadillo.
I have a really fucking stupid question.
What?
And I mean
I
really
probably have a
fucking
stupid answer
stupid
for you.
because this happened to me yesterday. What number are we on?
Revenge of the Sith.
I know, but what number?
3?
3. Okay.
What number?
I meant what number?
What do you mean you don't know?
That was a stupid question, Ben. I love you dearly, and I'm not usually the person to say this, but holy shit, son.
Ben, I
knew the title. My brain
Holy
couldn't think
shit.
of numbers.
Hi, welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. This week, what number are we on, Ben?
We're on number 3.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Which
I'm
one
not
is
at all.
number 3, Ben?
The one we're doing today.
What's the name of it?
3.
Can you please explain
Star
how
Wars
it is you
3.
forgot on this
Star
podcast?
Wars 3. The third
Star
one.
Wars the Third. Revenge of the 3.
Mr. the Third. Revenge of the Three. How is it that we've done 102 episodes of this podcast and you can't remember something as simple as the full title of this movie that we watched? I understand losing your place on... Actually, I don't understand, but I understand how you could lose your place on what movie you're supposed to watch this week. Because it's only ever
I
happened
do that
to
all
once.
the time, but I
also
have
do
to.
that all
I
the
do
time. That is
occasionally have to
constant.
ask in the Discord before I watch it. Hey,
Yeah.
what movie are we on? I've completely forgotten.
I'm more self-aware of it because I have to edit and I know the 6th week and that's easy for me. But I can understand how you could get lost. How do you forget which number corresponds with which title at this point?
Well, you see, step 1 is have my brain. And that's it.
This podcast already has it.
It wasn't what you said. It was the drop off of any other words after you said it. The hard ending of that sentence.
Ben, I make fun of you as a bit a lot.
I make
holy
fun of you for
shit.
real a lot.
This was the
Stop
best episode of this podcast ever. Ben, how was your watch to fucking keep this moving? Jesus Christ.
it. Christ almighty.
It was a watch.
You know, this watch of the movie Star Wars Episode 3.
We
Revenge
just
of the Sith.
started and we fell the fuck apart immediately.
To be fair, by we, you mean me.
Precisely.
Yeah, it was a movie that I watched.
Did you?
Yeah, I promise. I will not have my watching of movies brought into question.
He just forgot
here.
what number it was, you know?
Yeah.
Well, as you do. You know, because I know he doesn't have like a watch list on Disney Plus so that he can get to the movies quicker. So like,
I mean, they're always like the first
more
thing on my
confusing to
because
me.
you watched Star Wars,
Yeah.
whatever the last one you watched was.
Well, I usually have it
Yeah,
in my
that's true.
continue watching because I close out as soon as the fucking credits hit.
That's it.
So like they're just there and I have to restart
I
them.
always-
I have a really sad continue watching list on Disney Plus.
Well, what I always do is I always fast forward through the credits, so that way it's like a fresh start every time I click it. But I've also been getting lazy with
As
that
soon as-
lately, so.
My continue watching, I used it for. I had a Disney Plus phobia when we first started this show, where it only caused me pain to open Disney Plus. And then after I got over that, I would watch old cartoons. I was watching the old 90s Marvel cartoons. I started to watch Kim Possible, doesn't hold up. And then Ben got, and by Ben I mean I, and by I mean Ben, and by Ben I mean I got Paramount Plus. And I've been using that ever since because there's more stuff that I like to watch. So my continue watching is not as hectic as it used to be. But I still, like, the moment we started the podcast, I'm like, let's just put this on a watch list and nothing else. And that way I can always navigate very quickly so I can get in and get the fuck out. I mean, I close the app entirely once the movie hits the credits. It's just like, okay, home button on my Xbox, quit Disney Plus. Like, I don't even go back to the main menu.
I pay for Disney Plus basically for this podcast and whatever Marvel is airing at the moment, or if Star Wars is airing something current. I really appreciated Skype's dramatic zoom of Ben as he was finishing chugging that bottle of water. It was pretty good.
I pay for Disney Plus.
The way that statement was thrown out there, Jay, that just...
Chris, how was your watch?
It was all right. It was Revenge of the Sith, so it's it's one of the good ones.
One of the good ones. Man, does that have any meaning anymore?
No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I don't think anything.
Just
Any
one of the
anymore.
good. It feels like one of the good ones and one of the bad ones are indistinguishable now. It's just that a couple of the bad ones are way worse.
I thought that this movie was going to have I don't know. I figured there'd be some kind of renewed interest after watching Kenobi because
Me too.
It was so good. And I was like, oh, this will probably, be a pretty cool No. It was just a regular watch of
think
Revenge of the Sith.
Most of the renewed interest, I think, is going to kick in for A New Hope. The fourth
I have
one.
lost
The
my
one that
faith in
is
that.
number 4. The fourth movie in the Star Wars
Very
franchise.
good, Ben.
Very good.
Do I get a gold star now?
Good job.
You get what I would describe as what is 5 levels below a copper star, or what would be the bare minimum, below the bare minimum. That's the star you get.
A singular M&M.
You get a singular M&M.
Jay,
Otherwise,
how
I
was your
value
watch?
can't even eat it.
So I know we praise this movie a lot when we get to it. This watch, it felt like my high of this movie usually being the best watch of the rotation was not there, and I just noticed how fucking truly horrid the dialogue is in this movie. Really, really bad.
I just do everything I can to avoid the dialogue. I focus on the good parts, and I ignore how
I
bad
don't
the
have
dialogue
focus
is when I get to
anymore.
this movie.
I don't have focus anymore. It's just
Yeah, I feel
what's
like
in front of me and what.
That's been helping me is the lack of focus, because I could just, dissociate
Actively
almost
disassociate.
entirely. Yeah.
The disassociation only works to such an extent where my brain will fire neurons off and on at random. So whatever I notice at any given time, between the 20 minutes of on and off noticing, is what I notice. And even the scenes that I usually like were very bad.
Oh.
I was
So Jay, you're having a rough
watching,
one, is what I'm hearing.
Oh, yeah, I'm having a rough one. Things aren't good.
I love you, Jay.
Yeah,
I love you, Jay.
Oh shit.
My favorite thing to watch every time is that duel at the end of this movie. I didn't even get anything out of that. It's just like the dialogue was so fucking horrid that I didn't even get any enjoyment out of the duel.
The thing with the duel is I had some, I'll phrase it, absurdly delayed cringe watching the duel, because I remember when this movie came out and all my friends were like so excited about it, and that's when we all got those little, like Kmart like lightsabers you flick and the blade pops out, and
Yeah.
we're all like, yeah, we're gonna do like duels, and I just like, for some reason my brain just went back to that memory while watching the duel, and I was like, oh yeah, that was like rough. Because I'm just thinking about, I'm like, it's just a bunch of kids swinging like plastic swords and not even hitting them half the time.
That's cool as fuck. I will say proudly that I played with lightsabers with friends, and I did it a lot as a kid, and I take no shame in that. And I also take no shame in the fact that I definitely did that when I was like 21 or 22 with friends that were working. We were all working at the time. I also don't take any shame in that.
I mean, I still do
I
that.
do not.
In fact, you actively harass me for doing that still.
I think if Ben and I lived closer, the amount that we would be just beating the shit out of each other with lightsabers would be worrying to those around us.
It absolutely
you-
would.
You walk into Ben's house. You need to be aware of the fact that you will probably get hit by a Nerf gun at least
Absolutely
once a
will
day.
get hit by a Nerf gun
Yeah.
at least once.
It-
That is
him and his
tradition.
roommate just fire Nerf guns at each other like at least every couple hours.
Not really.
I
We haven't really had a Nerf war in a while. Kind of
remember,
honestly.
remember when I was a teenager, my cousin and I got like really big into those. Nerf at the time was making like Nerf melee weapons, like swords and
Oh
axes.
god,
and,
yeah.
like, there was like a Nerf spear at one point, I think, and we got really into those things, and we beat the ever-loving shit out of each other with those Nerf swords because they were like they were Nerf foam, but with like a metal rod in the middle of them.
It was like metal
So,
or like
like-
some really tough plastic or something.
Yeah, they were solid, but we did break a couple of them over each other like we were bad backyard wrestlers, which we also did plenty of. So, there was.
I never backyard wrestled. I did not do that.
Oh, I did. And I did. I got like an El Generico brainbuster done to me on like the metal ring of a trampoline at one point accidentally. That was fun. It was one of my concussions.
God. Oh god.
One of.
Jesus Christ. That you're lucky to be alive with that.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember there were concerns in my house that I was doing hard drugs because on our days off when I was like 21 and 22, we would just disappear into the woods for like 6 hours. And we were doing very tactical airsoft at the time.
Oh my
With
god,
like
that's
no protection or
amazing.
anything like that. But the turnaround to that was they were worried about us doing hard drugs, so we just did soft drugs and drugs that did airsoft.
Just did
Like,
the
fuck you, you were-
extraordinarily much less harmful drugs.
We would smoke pot, or I never had the courage to drop shrooms, but that doesn't mean that the other people that were playing airsoft didn't drop shrooms, and that would end with like somebody just sitting in the woods. It's like, all right, let's get you home.
All right, yeah, it's
One
time
of
to go.
One of these days, we're gonna rent a cabin, and Jay and I we're gonna like, the three of us will spend like a week at a cabin. We'll watch all the Star Wars movies. We'll do in-person recordings, and Jay and I'll just drop shrooms for every watch.
I love you guys.
All of my
I really fucking love you guys. I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
up for babysitting two adults.
You don't have to babysit us. We've been through
Yeah,
it.
maybe so. Yeah, we're adults. We can
Okay.
Yeah.
take care of it.
I mean, all of my heavy drinking, all of my heavy pot smoking, I only did shrooms twice, and I really didn't
Look, if
do anything else. But all of that was like in a 4-year period, and then I stopped. So I don't know what I would be like on shrooms, but I'm also an adult who knows how to take care of herself. So
at that point, we're renting a cabin and we're making like it's a business trip for the podcast. So like, if at any point,
write it off on our fucking returns.
If at any point we, Jay or I or both just go running off into the woods, you just grab a camera and you make content for the show at that point. All right,
Yeah.
that's just because inevitably it'll be one of us in the woods, just like, Lord Vader, where have you gone?
I will wake up for the second time in my life 30 feet from a bear. That'll be fun.
Just wandering around in the woods in a robe
can't
on
wait
fucking
for
shrooms, like, Lord Vader.
I can't wait for when somebody's family has to like send out a search party and they find the three of us in the woods doing a shitty pirate accent, pretending like we're Palpatine.
Lord Vader. So Star Wars, the third one. Which one is the third one, Ben?
Which one's the third one?
This cabin, like, is it gonna be like sizable?
Which one is the third one, Ben?
I mean, it can
sizable enough for you to be able to say which one the third one is.
The one we watched.
Which one is that?
Third one.
Third one, name, like I need specific name.
The third one, the one they watched on this day.
I don't think that's the title of the movie.
It is now. It is
now. It's called Star Wars Episode 3. What comes after that?
I said Star Wars Episode 3.
Like, it has a title.
Yeah, Star Wars Episode 3. I don't know what's... I don't see the issue here, Jay.
I love the
period
bit has turned into asking Ben what the rest of it is, when the crux of the issue was that Ben forgot that it was the third movie, and now he's just blowing off the rest of the title. We've reminded him of what number the movie is, and he lost the actual title.
Yeah. I don't think he lost the title. I think he's just being stubborn.
I would never.
Revenge of the Sith. I noticed, talk about being 12 rotations deep, I noticed something this watch.
Oh?
So, toward the end, when Anakin tells Mace about Palpatine, there's like a medium shot where Anakin says Mace needs him, and then Mace says no. This time, I noticed that I was watching it, and I noticed that the mouths weren't syncing up with what was being said. I'm like, was that just bad? I forgot the exact term for it, but was that just bad voiceover? Because they'll re-record the lines in booths. That's not the exact word, but yes, essentially. I'm just watching. I rewind like 3 times, and then I notice it in this medium shot. They're clearly originally saying different dialogue, but they CGI'd their mouths.
Oh my God.
So not only did they CGI their mouths, they CGI'd their mouths so badly that you have to look. You don't even have to look very closely to notice that it's still not saying the words that are said. But they CGI'd the actors' fucking mouths rather than going back, because I know there were reshoots for this movie. I know it. Rather than going back and just doing a 5-second medium shot again. On like green screen or something, so they didn't have to rebuild the set. It's wild to me. It's not even 5 seconds. It's like a 2-3 second shot. So that's like. So
is this when, like, right after the Palpatine Mace duel, or is this like when Mace is leaving to go arrest Palpatine?
This is right before Mace leaves to go arrest Palpatine. It's like right at the very end of. It's when Anakin
he's like,
says,
if what you told me is true,
yes,
then you'll gain my trust. That scene. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, right. The scene right before.
Oh, the scene before. Okay.
It's not the scene before it. It's like the shot before it. It's literally Anakin saying, if this is true, you'll need my help," and then Mace turning to him and saying no, and then the camera cuts so it's just focused on Mace at the next shot. It's like a 3-second shot. You want to talk about being 12 rotations deep, and what you notice?
I was gonna say, that is just like
they CGI'd their fucking mouths.
This is the natural conclusion to this podcast. We're just eventually gonna be sitting here like. I don't even have a better example because this is just perfect.
Revenge of the Sith.
I don't wanna.
You don't have a fucking choice. Do you think we have a choice? We're here. We have to do this.
Hey,
We don't have any choice.
listen. The agreement we made was that we were going to watch Star Wars every week forever. The intro to this podcast, welcome to Star Wars Every Week Forever, the podcast in which we watch one Star Wars movie every week forever. Doesn't say anything about talking about Star Wars, goddammit. I watched Star Wars this week.
Chris found the loophole. Chris found the loophole.
Let's go back to talking about Armadillo.
Audio podcast. It's implied. Plus, if you go check any of our social medias, it says we do that, and then we talk about it.
We talked about
pretend.
it. We just did.
We talked about a 3-second shot.
Yeah, okay.
We can't talk about Marvel's Armadillo?
We can't talk about fucking comics anymore. We do it every episode now.
Listen,
every episode.
6 minutes, damn it.
Every episode for 2 rotations. It's just been us talking about comic books.
No, we did the math. It's about 6 minutes of comics every episode is what we were averaging.
We didn't do the math, but pretty much, yeah. We can't talk about Armadillo. We already talked about Armadillo once today. I don't know if it's in the episode, but we did talk about it.
All right, well, let's talk about Rhino.
No!
Our other favorite animal-based comic book villain.
Fun Rhino fact. He got submerged in fucking cement. Next, Revenge of the Sith.
All right, what about the lizard?
What do you want me to say about it?
I'm trying.
I
want to say we don't have to talk about episode 3.
Are we just ranking Spider-Man's animal-based villains right now?
Shit, not.
But we could.
No, we couldn't.
I'll make you a deal, Jay.
The answer. If we did that with Sauron,
Jackal.
make the list, even though he's an X-Men character.
Sauron Spider-Man has enough. You could technically count Dr. Octopus, I guess. You got Jackal, you got, Rhino,
Oh,
Armadillo.
I think you're cheating if you could. We can't do this. We cannot do this.
Jay, we are the masters of our own destiny.
We can't do this.
We can break free, Jay.
Welcome to the revolution.
Welcome to the Star Wars Every Week Forever Liberation Front.
We want to rank Spider-Man's animal-based villains. That's what this podcast is now.
Because we want to talk about anything except Star Wars.
Our podcast has turned into a shitty BuzzFeed article.
This is the most broken we've ever been on this show. All right, round table. Everything you hate about this movie.
It exists.
Everything you hate about this movie. Just rapid fire it.
It exists. It has a number that I can't remember.
It has a number that you can't remember.
It has a great duel broken up by Yoda throwing furniture at Palpatine.
No, that's a plus. That's a plus for me.
That's a negative. I hate, I'll jump off of that. The Palpatine Yoda duel fucking blows. Look, it has always blowed. It's awful.
Who was it? George that went, listen, I know we're in the middle of a tense duel over here, and there was another tense duel happening over here, but what if Yoda just has his solid snake moment and crawls through some fucking vents?
I hate all of Utapau. Utapau fucking blows. Utapau is a waste of fucking time. Grievous is a waste of a character. Hello There is fine. I hate that they dubbed in. I know you do. I hate that they dubbed in Clone Trooper yelling in like the special DVD releases. I hate that.
Need to say one of my all-time favorite.
You don't need to say anything.
I do. One of my all-time favorite things that I still love about this movie is if you look in the background on Utapau during the actual battle, during the one shot, you can see. I think I brought this up. There's a clone trooper in the background who just punches a droid, and it's my goddamn favorite thing ever. Because that's become such a running bit in Star Wars, and I just love it.
My favorite is that clone trooper that jumps on a spider droid and just fires point blank range into the top of it. Yeah, that's good too. No, I don't want to talk about what I like about this movie. I've done that for 12 rotations.
Look, here's the problem. I'm so fucking sick of watching these movies that at this point I can't even give you specifics of what I think is bad about this movie. I'm just
It
so
all
annoyed
runs
by its
together.
existence.
Okay, well, put aside good and bad. Let's just talk about shit that annoys us, whether it's good or bad. Here's your, like, warning. These things are not inherently good or bad, and you might love them, but we're so tired of watching the movies that we don't particularly care. What annoys you? What are the scenes that annoy you most?
So this whole fucking bit that Anakin does, where he's like, "Oh, by the way, Mace Windu, I just found out that the Supreme Chancellor is the ultimate like Satan evil guy. You should go arrest him." And Mace Windu's like, "All right, I'm on it." And then Anakin just shows up 10 minutes later, like, "No, wait, stop," and then like just murders Mace Windu.
Yeah.
First off, I think you and I have very different ideas of what a bit is.
It's a
Second,
bit. I choose to believe it's a bit that he refuses to give up.
In your recreation, why was Anakin briefly from Kentucky?
Was he?
The Chancellor!
The Chancellor!
Chancellor! You sound like fucking Rogue. You sound like Cerebrocast's impression of Rogue.
I'll destroy you, Lady Mastermind.
Oh my god.
Well, I think the Chancellor might be evil.
I really want Deep South Anakin now. Like,
I hate that for some reason Obi-Wan's voice cracks when he says, "Did you notice that the shields are still up?" I noticed that, and that annoyed me.
oh, I
don't know
that.
why. It just did.
No, I love that.
It just annoyed me. That's fine. It's probably a likable thing. I've watched this movie 12 times in the last 2.5 years.
I do still really like the fact that I know we're supposed to be talking about things that annoy us, but I'm doing the opposite, and I'm talking about the things that I do still find charming in this movie. I love that Anakin in the beginning of this movie, and I don't know if it's just arrogance or if it's he doesn't give a fuck. It's just like, no, don't worry about it. I got this. And he's like scraping droids off of Obi-Wan's ship with his ship and firing out. And he's like, I don't know if it's arrogance on Anakin's part of just thinking he's that good that he's just, gonna make this happen, or if he just truly doesn't give a fuck.
I'm gonna blow your mind here. I'm gonna blow your mind here. The thought process behind that is bad fucking writing. It's bad fucking writing is what it is. Because, like, George Lucas sat down to write this movie about space the 6th time, looked at a situation he had created himself and said,
"Motherfucker.
Don't pretend to fucking do this fucking gimmick."
Sorry, continue. Get regret.
And he sat down and he was like, I have a droid on a wing. I have done 6 movies about outer space. What seems the most logical thing to do? I know this character that's the best fucking pilot in the galaxy. Why doesn't he ram his ship into another ship with a tiny fucking little glass piece being the only thing between his master and best friend and the fucking vacuum of space? It's bad writing. That's what it is, and I'm tired of trying to characterize it. I'm tired of it.
No, here's the problem, and it can be bad writing, but it's in the entire franchise. Nobody in the Star Wars universe respects the vacuum of space.
No.
Princess
Nobody
Leia respects it the
space.
least. Princess Leia respects it the least. Because Princess Leia
She
makes the
respects
vacuum of
so little.
space her bitch.
Vacuum. Okay, now I like that scene. That makes that scene good now.
Might have just convinced me that might be the best scene in all of
Leia Organa Solo was put out to the vacuum of space, looked around and said, "You know what? No, fuck you. You can't kill me."
It's just that.
I'm a bad
you
bitch.
know,
You
Can't
can't
kill
kill
me.
me.
what's that? You know, it's simply too angry to die. You know, just.
Yeah, you convinced me. That's a good scene, though. I don't care. I
Fucking
think the reason why I'm getting to the point where the prequels are harder than the sequels. And the reason why is that I'm getting to the point with the sequels where I'm getting used to them, and therefore the ridiculous parts of them are funny to me now. The
Is it
prequels-
mostly just? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that mostly just because like you haven't had like as much time with them? Is that what you meant?
Yeah,
Like kind of.
1000%.
Okay. I just want to make sure
But
I
I've-
understood you.
Like, I've watched them so many times now that all of the things that used to bug me are like way in the back of my head. I'm coming to grips with reality. Like, they're there. So the stuff that was ridiculous is now funny to me. I had the prequels way before we started this podcast. So the stuff that's funny to me are now fucking deeply irritating. It's like if you go to the same comedian's entire tour, like you follow him around like a groupie, but you only kind of liked him, and every day you walk in to watch that comedian and you're like, oh, this isn't as funny as it used to be, and it just gets worse and worse all the way down the line. It's just, I'm so fucking... I sat there rolling my eyes at the R2 scenes. Arguably, some of R2's best scenes, but I just don't care anymore. I don't want to see R2 run into a fucking wall anymore, man.
No, I do. I'm still down for that.
Yeah, that's all that's at this point, I'm so fucking over Star Wars. I'll take those dumbass scenes. That's what I live for.
But that's how I felt like 4 rotations ago.
I
It's
feel like
now-
this is probably this
Look.
project is waning on Jay the most.
Yeah.
And I feel like
Oh.
it's been that way for a while, because like even
Yeah.
just a couple rotations in, Jay, we would be like, yeah, we're watching The Mandalorian. Jay's like, how?
No,
Look,
like,
I mean, I don't enjoy the dumb scenes in these movies, but it's literally all that keeps me going at this point.
It's-
Everything else, I'm so fucking over.
That's all I live for anymore.
Yeah, I live for the stupid shit at this point.
I live for us turning things into bits. That's what I get enjoyment out of now. But
I'm
we
just-
bitted this movie to death. So now we're just, there's nothing left.
Do we have? I haven't read enough of the Vader comics. Do we have a scene of like Vader being introduced to the idea of the Inquisition?
Isn't that
Because
like,
I feel like we don't really get a full blown origin for the Inquisition. Like I know we get lots of like backstory on some Inquisition members and stuff, but do we get like? I really want that like meeting in a boardroom where Palpatine's like, all right, look, Lord Vader, there's a lot of Jedi left. Order 66, it's gone to shit. There's
I
too
don't
many.
know
You know,
if
they
we
were all
really
supposed
do.
to die.
I don't know if we really do get like a first look at Vader's introduction to like the idea of the Inquisitorius.
isn't that the scene where he's like, it's been like 6 months since Revenge of the Sith. He's like, Lord Vader, I would like to introduce you to the 6 Dark Jedi. One of them looks exactly like General Grievous, except he's a fish man. Enjoy wondering if you're going to be replaced by one of them at any minute. Isn't that
That's-
like,
No,
aren't
'cause
they
that
like
was
Inquisitors?
no, they weren't meant to be Jedi hunters. They were just there to test Vader to ensure that he was still capable as an apprentice.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they that's
I could
and
speak
part
on
of,
that
like
'cause
a lot
I
of them. I know the Grand Inquisitor was a guard at the Jedi Temple.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah, I know a lot of it was like pre-order 66. Palpatine kind of had some of this set up already, you know, ready to go, obviously. So like, I just really want that like moment of like, yes, Lord Vader, I know, yes, you're perfectly capable of hunting down the remaining Jedi, but look, they're just here to, you know, help you out, do some of the heavy lifting, so you can focus on
I don't
whatever it
know.
is you do on your downtime. Are you really focused on your art
Lord-
or something? What
Lord
are
Vader,
doing? What are
you
up
need to
at that
drown
castle?
yourself in water every 6 hours. They can work like, they only need like 4 hours of sleep, Lord Vader.
Lord Vader, you see, you have to soak in a tank. They are not. They're
They haven't had
fine without-
baths in a week.
Yeah.
They really do stink. but they're also not in like the they're very good at their jobs, arguably better than you, Lord Vader. But you smell like, you know, soap and antiseptic, and they smell like shit.
Yeah. Maybe that is my my.
Are you about
I-
to
I-
ask what Vader smells like?
No, I have a
Okay.
complaint about the Obi-Wan series that I hadn't thought about beforehand. Like, I was really hoping for more of Vader just killing Inquisitors, because it's my favorite thing. Like, you know, spoilers and the Fallen Order. It's my favorite part of that goddamn game is when Vader just drops down and he's like, all right, well, you failed, and he just fucking
Yeah.
die.
Well, and that's
Like-
like a regular thing in the life of an Inquisitor. Like they've
Yeah.
the shows don't really do it justice, but like in the comics and everything, they got all sorts of like cybernetics and shit because Vader will regularly be like, "You failed, no more arm for you," and he just
Yeah.
cuts it off.
He was
Like,
like
I was
seconds
really
away
hoping-
from killing Reva.
Well, like, I really
No,
hope.
I mean
like,
he failed killing her twice.
Yeah.
So
I had the hopes that Obi-Wan would like involve Vader just killing most of the Inquisitors and being like, all right, get new ones. These ones not very good. Get rid of them.
Bad.
Yeah, these were bad. Lord Vader, I see here you killed another 3 Inquisitors today. What? Why? They're not exactly easy to replace. We have to find more people who have the Force.
Lord Vader.
We have to give
Lord
them
Vader,
spinning
you have to
lightsabers. Do you
understand.
think spinning lightsabers grow on trees, Lord Vader?
Lord Vader, I need you to understand this. You know, remember that time you killed all of the children? You know, all of the children. You know, that thing you did that I didn't tell you to do, that maybe I would have used them to become Inquisitors. Well, they're really hard to replace now because you did kill all of those children, Lord Vader. I'm not pointing fingers, but at least, like, I don't know, 80% of the Inquisitors we could have had are dead now because of, I don't know, some child murder. Not pointing any fingers, Lord Vader.
I mean, this also begs me to bring up the fact that like this isn't the first time Palpatine has attempted to abduct Force-sensitive children. Because like legit, there's a whole Clone Wars arc
That's like
where he hires a bounty hunter to steal a holocron with a list of Force-sensitive children, so he could kidnap them before the Jedi do.
Look, I
That
mean,
is
that's just that
like-
seems to be Palpatine's whole thing
That
is
is-
just like kidnapping Force-sensitive children.
Yeah, but the problem with that is like every Sith Lord in history has also done that exact same thing. Like Bane did it. I don't know if Revan did it, but it's implied. Like every Sith Lord is just like, let me go and steal the Jedi's history, like records on Force-sensitive children, and then I can use that. Because like in the old canon, Bane was able to get the rule of 2 ahead of the curve by like for a few generations having a list of people that were Force sensitive because they stole it directly from the Jedi archives.
No, he
I
didn't.
forget the name of. Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
That's from the arc where his apprentice like gets involved with another Jedi and they end up killing that Jedi at the end of the third
Yeah,
book.
that's the beginning of the 3rd book when they killed the Jedi.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that.
Well, in the second book, she infiltrates the Jedi Temple in order to steal that.
I don't believe so.
Nerd fight, nerd fight, nerd fight.
Nerd fight,
Nerd
nerd fight. If I'm wrong, I will take that as an absolute win because that means all of this useless fucking information in the back of my head is going away.
Welcome to obscure Star Wars lore Jeopardy.
Can we not do that? That's like the worst bit we could possibly do on the show.
Is
I
it?
mean, that's essentially that bit that I do very rarely.
You know what? I'm gonna
Yeah.
put that together. I'm gonna make that happen.
Why? I don't want to talk about obscure Star Wars lore.
Here's here's a situation. What's the correct answer here? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this? Is it this?
The fans would probably enjoy that, so I'm down, but
I'll
that would require me
the-
to think about Star Wars on our
I'll
Star
put
Wars
a
podcast.
Obscure Star Wars lore Jeopardy together. I'm not
Well,
wearing a blaze.
while we
That's
wait for
reserved
Ben.
for the holiday.
Yeah, I don't
The
think
blazer on the back of
there's-
your chair right now.
It's on the back
Battle
of my
on-
chair right now.
Battle
I
on
had to come
Tython.
off. I had to go to an event.
No, before the Battle on Tython.
For that,
Yeah. Battle on Tython is where they killed the Jedi Master, yeah?
Which Jedi Master? Was it Jedi Master Bates?
I don't remember his name. No.
No,
Also
no,
Master
she.
Bates,
Okay,
don't-
that's right. She
no.
infiltrated the Jedi Temple to see if there was a way to remove
Yes.
the obelisks from him.
Okay, yeah, I was incorrect then. I remembered her infiltrating the Jedi Temple. I remembered her stealing
I knew
something.
she did. I
thought
didn't.
it was
I was
the-
like, "There's no way they did a Jedi list." I was starting to get
Okay.
scared because I was like, "Bane is like what I know. That is home territory for me."
It's also home territory for me, but I watch Star Wars every week forever, so it's been muddled, and I am proud of that.
I'm proud. Jay is relieved.
I'm deeply relieved.
I mean, you did say it was basically going to be a win-win either way for you.
Yeah. Well, no, it's gonna be a loss win. If I knew that for a fact, I consider that a loss.
Just fair.
I only have. I'm getting older. I only have so much space in my brain. I'd like some of this shit to leave. I don't want it anymore. Take it.
I mean, I've effectively gotten rid of most of the like obscure Star Wars lore from my brain. Every once in a while, something weird comes out that surprises me, like the fucking Exogorth. But
The Exogorth one was absolutely debilitating to me.
Oh, Jay.
But
I did think of something to the point of what you were trying to say with the Darth Bane thing. They literally
Don't do
do
this
also
to me.
do the exact same thing in the Fallen Order video game.
oh, okay.
yeah,
The
that was,
plot of
that
Fallen
was-
Order is, there's
yeah.
a holocron with a bunch of children. You have to go
Oh,
keep it from
yeah.
falling into. So like that
Okay.
literally only happens again like 10 years after it happens the first time or however fucking long
Yeah,
it
Vader
was.
That's right. That's what Vader was looking for in Fallen Order, and then
So they didn't wait 1,000 years to do it again. They just waited like 10 or 12.
Mm.
well, and forgive me, because Bane was never really one that I was super into. Not that I disliked Bane, it's not where my
No, I gotcha.
it's not where my Star Wars knowledge lies. Where chronologically, Bane's. I mean, because what do they say in the first movie? Oh, the Sith have been gone for however the hell
1,000
long,
years.
you know, like
1,000
Like,
years
that's-
before Phantom Menace.
yeah. So Bane was like 1,000 years before Phantom Menace. Was he the most recent?
Yes. No, he was not the most recent. He was the starter of the Rule of Two.
Yeah.
So he was. So Bane. Do you want to explain this, Ben? Because I know you take great pleasure out of
Yeah,
Bane, and
sure.
I also really
So,
enjoy Bane, but I don't want to talk about Star Wars, so take it away.
Bane started as a cortosis miner on some moon, and he had to get out of there because the Republic was coming for him, and he was up to some shady shit. And the whole what was the war called? The New Jedi Wars, something like that.
Hi, Jay. Star Wars Every Week Forever offices. It's the new Sith Wars. We were close, but no cigar. Back to the show.
The Jedi and the Sith were fighting,
I
and
don't
this
remember,
is back
but
when
it
they
was
were.
essentially.
This is like post Knights of the Old Republic, right?
Yeah.
This is like 3,000 years, 2,000 years after.
This is
This was in the middle of like a Sith
is-
and Jedi war that had been going on for 100 years.
Yes. This is literally exactly 1,000 years before the Battle of Yavin.
And this
Okay.
is also when the guy who wrote the Bane series was like, I'm going to make a comment on early 20th century mining, because Bane is literally like in a mining camp, like a full company owned
Like,
mining camp. That's where he grew up.
He's in a company, in a company town, cannot
Oh my
grow
God.
hair.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, is Bane Star Wars Elon Musk?
No. Well,
No.
well,
He doesn't
I mean-
own the company. He's like a.
no, but he does inherit a shit ton of money.
He does.
Well, not inherit, but
Hey, listen, what I'm hearing
got
is
money,
mining
yeah.
inherits
No.
a bunch of fucking money for no reason and can't grow hair.
No, he
all right,
didn't.
that's just
no, he was a miner.
He was a victim of the mining
okay.
complex.
But
And
So,
he
the
tried
new-
to cheat a Republic officer out of money using the Force and killed him, and that's how that happened.
yeah.
He had to get it out.
So the new Jedi Wars are going on.
Nope.
And so he hops a ship to get over to the Sith Academy and finally trains as a Sith Lord. And this is back when there's like 10,000 plus Sith running around being Sith dudes and ladies. And
this is the Academy of Korriban.
yep. And eventually he eventually uncovers a holocron, which was Darth Revan's holocron, which actually gave him the inspiration to institute the rule of two. So he realizes the only way to defeat the Jedi is to eradicate every Sith out there and then hide in the shadows until they can rise and take over the galaxy. So he comes across...
And this is when your brain will click, Chris.
He comes across a secret force weapon called the Thought Bomb, which he tells the Sith, like, yeah, this is going to be the secret weapon that helps us eradicate the Jedi. But in reality, it just blows up the fucking planet they're on, and Revan's the only Sith that survives, because he managed to get the entirety of the Sith Order to meditate in a cave to make this weapon.
Yeah. This is in... They revisit the same area in... which Kyle Katarn game is it? Which...
Was it not Academy? No, was it Academy? Was it Jedi Academy? Or was it Outcast?
It was not Academy. It was the one before it.
It was Jedi Outcast.
Outcast?
I think.
No.
No, it might be earlier than that, because that's when he was... what was the name of the Sith that had, like, the things over his eyes? Whenever he killed him, that was second.
Yeah. I want to say that's Dark Forces 2?
That sounds right. Hi, Jay, Star Wars Every Week Forever Offices. The game in which we were talking about was Dark Forces Jedi Knight, and the character that he was chasing down on Rusan, which is the name of the planet, was Jarek the Dark Jedi. I also learned through this process, which I never knew before, was that Jarek was a Miraluka, and I think that's only like the second or third canon Miraluka, because one of the other ones was a character in Knights of the Old Republic too, since we were talking about Knights of the Old Republic. That was fun. Also, apparently Jocasta knew the Jedi archaeologist trained Jarek, so that's fun as well. Anyway, back to the episode. But they visit that same area, and... I
played those Dark Forces games.
If I remember correctly, Kyle Katarn was the one to kind of like set the victim spirits free in the old canon. But yeah, essentially, like, Bane does not do well in the Korriban, like, academy system. And
there's essentially a gang of Zabrak bullies that just, like, beat the shit out of him whenever they get the chance.
And then he's, like, kind of involved with a girl, and she's trying to, like, use and abuse him for, like, her own power. And he kind of just decides, well, fuck this. Y'all really suck. I'm gonna kill all of you because power should be held within one and passed to another. Y'all are weak as shit. So he goes to Rakata and, like, the Rakatan homeworld and everything else. Yeah. Bane's pretty cool.
I like Bane.
And the Thought Bomb's really cool. Shout out Jedi vs. Sith, which was a comic they did before those Bane books came out that tells the same story, but from Zantana is his apprentice's name, right?
Zana.
Zana was his apprentice that he picked up because she survived the Thought Bomb, and she was basically just a 6-year-old kid wandering the Thought Bomb wreckage that he picked up and groomed to be his apprentice. It's a good comic.
Totally forgot that in Jedi Knight Dark Forces 2, the Mysteries of the Sith expansion for it, you got to play as Mara Jade.
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, this is a good fucking game.
It's been a while since I played the Dark Forces games, and I don't think I played the expansions, so...
The whole fucking series, like, Dark Forces 2 was, like, the start of something great, but it was still pretty clunky. Once they got to Jedi Outcast, though.
Oh, yeah.
And then, Jedi Academy was also incredible.
Dark Forces 2 is, I think, where I started to like the series. I know I'm about to get slaughtered, but I never really understood the appeal of Kyle Katarn. Like, he just seems like the most overpowered character you could stuff. Like, it seems like someone's OC to me. He has always felt like someone's OC to me.
that's every Star Wars video game character though.
That's every Star Wars
he's
character.
overpowered until you get to Jedi Outcast, and
He
then
seems like a
Academy,
late
and you put him next to Luke and every
Yeah.
other Jedi character, and you realize, like, oh yeah, he's really good, but also, like, he'd still get the floor wiped, you know, if he went up against, like, Luke or
Skywalker, yeah.
Mara Jade, you know.
My opinion of Kyle Katarn is like the late Chris Claremont characters in his X-Men run that he keep trying to make work and they never work. I adore Chris Claremont, but I'm talking like end run.
I'm
30 or 40
the face
issues.
is because of the comparison. How dare you?
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, I like
also
Kyle
love Chris Claremont, but I understand what you're saying. But Jesus Christ, to throw Kyle Katarn in there, how dare you? I'm so upset.
I don't think he has like a lot of personality, and I just never got it. But Dark Forces 2 and Jedi Outcast are fantastic
I think
games.
because Kyle
He
Katarn
doesn't,
kind of does that like sassy mercenary kind of thing, but like he's
Yeah.
more rugged and grizzled, like every male character in Star Wars.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. It's just not my thing. There's my terrible secret.
But also, like, on the note of like overpowered Star Wars characters, every once in a while I'll see, like, I'll be scrolling through TikTok and it'll just be like, who would win, like Starkiller versus Revan, and everyone like gets in arguments. So I'm like, you guys realize like they're both just made to be like stupid powerful. Like,
Yeah. There was
Starkiller, like, canonically Starkiller isn't as strong as people think he is because the video games had to be more enjoyable.
I mean, he got wrecked. Like, I don't know.
That's the best part of Force Unleashed is how they build up this character throughout the game, and it's like, oh, he's so ridiculously powerful, and then he just gets fucking murked at the end. Like, he's just, he's just like.
And even then, people say, well, he went out in the alternate version where he's a Sith. He went after all of like our favorite characters. He went after Luke when he was at his least powerful.
Like, yeah, Luke before he even went to Dagobah.
Pretty sure I'm in the minority there, but I have always hated those fucking alternate like missions. Yeah. It's so fucking like that. Look, we talk a lot about fan fiction on this show, and I have a certain appreciation for some fan fiction just because the amount of work people put into it.
Yeah.
We all know you're the fan fiction connoisseur.
Yeah, you are the fan fiction connoisseur.
Connoisseur of fan fiction. No, those alternate missions in Force Unleashed, they're like bad fucking fan fiction. It's like someone's edgy OC turning Luke Skywalker to the dark side, you know?
Well, let's be honest, Starkiller was always the edgy OC of the Star Wars characters, and that's saying a lot.
There, on Ben's point, there was a time when YouTube Star Wars was like so barren before Force Awakens came out that there was like a pretty decent community of creators that were just like had entire channels built off of like this person versus this person. It'd be like a 20 to 25 minute video of comparing their skills and stuff like that. And I used to really enjoy those, and every once in a while they pop up back, and I'll kind of poke in and be like, am I still subscribed to this person? Yes, unsubscribe. It's nothing personal, but I don't want to have Star Wars on my main YouTube channel.
Like, I do enjoy when like people are sitting there like picking apart traits and attributes and how they would stack up. I just hate when it's a bunch of like fanboys just being like, well, this guy would win because he's so much better, obviously, and it's like, I don't even care.
I don't like this guy versus fighting this guy arguments, because I call it the Batman rule, because it's all circumstantial. And every fan will say something to defend the person that they're defending, just like, well, if they had prep time, motherfucker, nobody's talking about prep time. If you want to talk about this fight and how this person would win over this person, go to AO3 and write it. Otherwise, why are you fighting so hard for this?
There was a I don't remember the website. I don't remember anything about it. I don't remember who it was that did it, but there was this website that did, it was like the fantasy character cage match every year, where they would take a bunch of like fantasy characters and put them in like a tournament, and they would like people would vote on who the winner is, and then they would like write out like a fight between them,
Like an actual-
basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were pretty cool.
Yeah.
But there was always a part of me that, like, because they were always really, Vader was in one of them, of course, at one point. Gandalf was in one at one point. There was always a part of me that really wished they took that name literal, and it was literally just a Spider-Man 1 Sam Raimi cage match between like Gandalf and Darth Vader, because
God.
fucking hilarious. No
I would pay
lightsabers,
money
no
for
force, no
Gandalf
magic.
is
Just,
ready.
yeah, just Darth Vader giving fucking Gandalf a burning hammer in the middle of a wrestling ring with a fucking cage.
Well,
just like,
Well,
Now
we've
just
come
picture-
full circle.
I'm now
It
picturing.
started as a burning hammer joke, and you managed to work it back to the ring.
I'm now picturing the scene from I forget, was it the no, it wasn't Two Towers, where Gandalf's at Isengard and Saruman's just using magic to spin him in a circle on the floor. I'm just imagining that, but it's Darth Vader.
That's funnier with Spider-Man, because Spider-Man would have some amazing quips while that happened.
Oh yeah. Okay, but hear me out. So
Uh-huh.
we do a similar bit, but instead of death matches, it's pod races.
All right, this has been Star Wars every week. It's time for, and something that has definitely not been halted by us forgetting about it for a week. Weird
Time-
Wikipedia, Ben.
Time for everyone's favorite bit that is never forgotten by anyone,
Never
especially
forgotten.
me.
time for everyone's favorite bit that's 100% in the
This
episode
is-
in which it
This
takes
is the
place
same
in.
day.
This is
This is the same day.
This is the second time in a row I've been like, all right, time for Weird Wikipedia, and I pull up Firefox and I start typing in Weird Wikipedia in the search bar.
Listen, I just got done putting together the Weird Wikipedia, like, full supercut. I
Oh
can't
my
think of
God, you're
Wikipedia
doing-
without the word weird anymore.
You're doing the Lord's work.
I don't think that's what you would describe that supercut.
That is absolutely what I would describe that
was-
supercut as.
I think it was my wife I was talking to the other day where I meant to say Wikipedia and I said Wikipedia. And she was like, what? And I was like, nothing. My brain is fucking broken. I don't know what
Absolutely
to tell
nothing,
you.
I promise. What is it? This sounds like a real actual person, because it is. Today on... Oh, links are a thing.
I don't know that show.
I am so disorganized. I have none of my usual setup where it's supposed to be.
That makes no sense because we've definitely been recording for an hour already.
Yeah.
Today on Weird Wikipedia, we have Josh Rhimes, member of Lucasfilm, serving his current role as vice president,
Oh,
animation development and production. Joined
This
Lucasfilm in
Wikipedia is not
2015.
very weird. It's just informative.
It's just informative.
worked a lot on Resistance, Forces of Destiny, Bad Batch, and Visions. And the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special.
Yep.
Oh,
thank
this
you.
is the current vice president of Lucasfilm.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your service, Josh Rhimes.
Cool.
We'll put in a good word with Kathleen.
Mr. Rhimes, could you just pass along a message to Kathleen for me? She must have lost my email. It must be going to spam box or something. I haven't gotten any replies in a long time. Friend of the show, Josh Rhimes. Do you want to put a
Friend of the
word in?
show, Josh Rhimes. Do you want to put in a
God.
good word for us?
This is our new Rick McCallum.
This has been Star Wars Every Week Forever. Christ almighty, good night.
Good night. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'll see you in a week. Bye.
If you enjoyed that episode, why not like and subscribe? Also, share it with a couple friends. Bring them into this hellscape that we've done to ourselves. You can catch brand new episodes every single Wednesday on Spotify, Pandora, YouTube, pretty much every other platform you get your podcasts on. If you'd like to extend the suffering, you can catch us over on twitter.com at SWEWF. We post direct links to brand new episodes every week as soon as we upload them, and you can catch the occasional other dumb Star Wars take, and who wouldn't want that? Catch you guys later.